Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dirandil with a double hitter A1 each hit with a chance of placing freeze debuffs, also maybe some utility into hard mode finite there, and attack all enemies A2 on a 3-turn cooldown, will ignore 15% of each target's defense, and fills this champion's turn meter by 10% on each critical hit. Which might not seem that crazy good until you then consider the likes of hard mode Spider. We're going to be giving him a test run out there and seeing if we can just get like extra 10s straight up from using this A2 skill and just how effective that is and if he has the damage to keep up in hard mode Spider. And then on A3 he brings the, this is the ability that gets most people pumped up when they talk about Dirandil, is his 4-turn cooldown, attack one enemy, ignore 50% of the target's defense, placing a perfect veil buff on Dirandil for 2 turns if the hit is critical. Quite a simple champion. A lot of people talk about good old Diri, man, so this episode of Busted or Bad, it's time to decide once and for all if Dirandil is worth building for you on your account, or whether the lad is just overhyped, man. Feels weird to call Dirandil a lad, given that he's probably thousands of years old, being a dark elf. God, almost misspecied him right there. Hey, if you guys are looking to start up a new raid account, make sure to go ahead and get that done right now by using the beginner promo link that is down below this video at the top of the description box, man. For a triple legendary start, right now it's an incredible time to use that link down below to create your new raid account, and for Basilius Ranus as your free start legendary champion, a few free epics as you level up your account. You can get yourself Michelangelo, while Mikey is the log and reward legendary champion, at least for the next 30 days at the time I upload this video, and then he's going to be gone forever. I guess he'll join the summon pool, maybe. Maybe not. I don't even know, actually. And then you can get good old 2 Hanorach using beginner code Desert Queen to round off your account. Now, first and foremost, man, the build I'm going to be trying Dirandil out in. It's a bit of a catch-all build. Some builds with Dirandil, you would have built him to go fast with like good accuracy and stuff, and build him as more of like a fast multi-hitter freeze champion for hard mode Fire Knight, and in the likes of things like Spider's Den and stuff like that. In PvP, you kind of just want to build him in stuff like Savage Gear, big damage, you can afford to be a little bit slower, and he's just trying to hit really hard. And so I'm building him in the Forge Pass Instinct set to give him speed and ignore defense, so I won't have to change up his build too much throughout this video. And so that explains, you know, I know this guy is a little bit inaccessible, but at the same time, his build isn't like ultra mega out of control in terms of gear quality. He's very fast for a damage dealer at like 250 speed, which is a little bit unhinged, a little bit out of control, but his crit damage is like 260%, which isn't that nuts. I will, of course, towards the end of the video be trying him out in just full lethal gear, just like the hardest hitting gear I can possibly get him in on my account, push like 360% crit damage and all that good stuff, you know. But for now, this is the build we're going to trial him off in. He is in a Malefic Talon, and his masteries look like the following. Standard-ish kind of build with War Master and stuff like that. Could maybe even consider going into the likes of Helm Smasher instead, for even more ignore defense. If you want to build up as like a PvP nuker or something, that might actually be a little bit better. Very first place we're going to be trying out good old Dirandil is replacing Creodan in my hard mode Fire Knight team. Now this is stage 6 hard mode Fire Knight. I want everybody to be basically neutral affinity because this is Void Affinity Fire Knight, and so it should be a decent test as to how he does with damage as compared to the likes of Yakal and Neldor, at least. My fastest clear time for stage 6 is 2 minutes and 43 seconds, so not that quick. Maybe we can go ahead and spruce that up, and let's just see how he does. Now, I'm not expecting his damage to be unhinged out of control, but I'm expecting him to probably top the damage on this team, and so let's just see how it flies, shall we? His big old smack's about to come in just now. His AoE smack hitting it for about 80 or 90,000 across most enemies just there, although somehow the decreased defense actually didn't land on everybody. Hits him for 260k against a little freak of nature on the front line just there, so not bad, not bad. He's definitely clapping cheeks in terms of damage. It could be better. It could be better. Of course, I've got him built with like 260% crit damage here. And less attack than he otherwise could have. Again, I've prioritized more speed in this Fire Knight style build, and I might tweak this build a little bit for even more damage going into Spider. That's what we're going to be testing him out next. But so far, so pretty decent. It's got to be said. Now, it does bear mentioning that his A1 skill, it's only a double hitter freeze, right? Creodan and like Neldor, for example, like Neldor over here on the right side of the screen, those suckers run like triple and quad hitter A1 skills that plays freeze. Or at least I think Neldor's is a quad hitter. Maybe it's a triple hitter. Whatever, dude. Either way, they've got like higher land rate freezes and more hits on their A1 skills than God, what the hell's his name? Dirandil. And so Dirandil's advantage really comes in the form of more damage rather than more reliable freezes against the hard mode Fire Knight boss. And so for that reason, as you get towards the harder and harder stages of hard mode Fire Knight, it can become a bloody problem keeping the boss's turn meter down. In fact, we might actually just not have enough freezes here, even with like a 250, 260 speed Dirandil, to actually keep the boss's turn, stop the boss from getting a turn here. We are, of course, also lacking, okay, big ol' smack against the boss, 150k there, not too bad. We're, of course, lacking increased speed buffs on this team as well, so that's not really helping things with the absence of Creodan. It feels to me, at first glance, that even though Dirandil's doing pretty good here, his damage is definitely going to help the clear be a little bit faster, so that's great. It feels to me like he doesn't quite bring enough tools into hard mode Fire Knight to be really considered a specialist champion in this area of the game. That's my opinion going on into this. That said, looks to me like this might actually end up being my fastest ever clear on this boss, if only by like 10 seconds or something like that, but that's pretty good. We just made much shorter work of the waves, and so there you go. He actually kind of dominated on damage. The Yakal pulled in, you guys can't see, but above my head right now it's about 1.5 million on Yakal. Neldor's just built to be fast and be a freezer 10-meter controller against the boss, and the Dirandil really kind of dominating when it comes to damage. And so you know what? I'm actually impressed. I'm actually very impressed. Maybe Dirandil replaces the Neldor, man. You know what I'm saying? Now again, the likes of Neldor Rhineblade brings a triple hitter A1, with each hit having a 40% chance of placing freeze debuff for one turn. Dirandil's is only a double hitter with a 30% chance of placing freeze, so he's a less reliable 10-meter controller against the Fire Knight boss. You've also got Neldor doing more to help you out against the waves as well, with the double hitter A3, attacking all enemies and placing strong decreased speed on all enemies as well. And of course you can place this against the boss also, and so Neldor's bringing a lot of tools that are going to help you against the waves and against the boss in this case, where decreased speed is very powerful, that Dirandil simply doesn't have. Dirandil just has the damage. You can talk about Creodan in a similar way. Very hard to nudge Creodan out of a hard mode Fire Knight team when you're talking epic champions that are just bringing freezes. Triple hitter A1 with a 35% chance on each hit of placing the freeze, so better than Dirandil by quite a margin. Also brings attack all enemies, each hit with a chance of placing freeze, great for controlling the waves. And Creodan brings increased speed and 10-meter boost, so it's like, okay, even though the clear is going to end up being a lot slower if you're using Creodan and the likes of Neldor as your epic freeze champions alongside maybe like a Yakal or whatever, they're just more often than not going to go further in your roster and be more reliable for longer against harder and harder stages of hard mode Fire Knight than Dirandil. That said, as a starter champion in the hard mode Fire Knight, don't want to crap on this guy. He just got me my fastest ever stage 6 hard Fire Knight clear, man. Like, his damage is actually kinda no joke, and that did impress me more than I was expecting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and real quick tweak up the Dirandil's build by just switching in and out some gear. Oh my god, we rolled into red speed as well. This is a really good weapon. This episode of Busted Out Bad is a little bit different from ones that I've ran before, where I'm just more focused on just trying to just pile drive value out of this champion. Normally I'd show like a more budget build first and then go into the more busted stuff, but you know what? For the sake of Dirandil, I'm going to try and do him as many favors as I possibly can, because this is a champion I low-key sort of regret build. I'm not going to lie, he's been at 60 on my account for a long time, and I've just never really found use for him. And so, yeah, what we're doing here is just really trying to pump the value on this guy and see what we can do. This is how I'm going to tweak up the build. I'm going to switch him into Cruel Gear for a little bit more attack. We're trying to pile on more crit damage. With this build, he's losing about 20 speed, and losing a little bit of accuracy because he's just going to need it a lot less for a spider-centric build. And so let's go ahead and throw this gear on him. He's still pretty damn quick, to be fair, but he's just pushing more crit damage now. Let's see how he handles hard mode spider. And you know what, man? You know what? Do I just go absolutely berserk and just try and clear hard spider for the very first time here? Yeah, let's do it. And here we go, man. So stage 8 hard spider, never beat this before ever on my account. Frankly, I just haven't really tried. I've just been slacking on this front. And the Dirandil in this team is going to be replacing a Thor. Okay, and so Thor's obviously an absolutely just a monstrous AoE damage dealer, which is really just a theme of most of these champions, right? The Wardmaster of Thorian is a beast into this game mode, and of course Thor Infallible had all kinds of AoE damage, all kinds of weakened debuffs, all kinds of just huge AoE smacks. Dirandil's got his work cut out for him, man. Let's see how he does into this now. And so he's going to be actually faster than our decreased defense champion, which is the Zagala on this team. And so he's going to be moving before the Zagala on the far left over here. And so he'll be attacking on in without decreased defense here. And his smacks come in, and oh my god, he just gets the extra 10 straight away. So that's actually pretty cool. Then the Zagala's going to come in to finish things off. So he hit for like 180k, 200k damage-ish on all of the spiders there, which wasn't quite enough to kill him dead. Because of course it wasn't, you know, without the decreased defense. And so I've obviously not refined the team around him, is what I'm trying to say here. He might not actually have time against this difficulty of spider. Oh my god, dude, we lost the Thorian. We might not actually have time in this team to really accrue a good amount of value into Hard Spider here. We'll let it play out a bit longer. He's going to get around again to using his AoE skill in just a second. I believe the Tholin's going to attack in phase though and might just clear everything, which might be one of the issues, man, running the Dirandil in the squad who we are going to get over the line here. But he kind of relies on hitting a lot of enemies. I tell you what, his damage was still really, really good though. Like, I know you got to attack in more than the Athorian because the Athorian got one-shotted. But still, like, he was kind of keeping pace. I think this might just be a case of, we're going to try him into stage 9 now, by the way, which I also haven't beaten. He's actually weak hitting into stage 9, which really isn't helpful. As you can see, his damage was very, very poor in that instance, but turns out that into stage 9, while Master Athorian is taking no prisoners, being magic affinity, so he's having a great time at least. But yeah, Royal Assassin's gonna come on in. Okay, we take a big smack, we're gonna live. Again, we should probably clear this. It might just be a case though of once you've got a good amount of AoE legendary nukers, and if that's the way that you're gonna blast down hard mode spider, which I think for a lot of people it is, you just throw your biggest AoE damage dealers in there and sort of, I mean, War Master's damage here is just absolutely disgusting, being strong affinity into this. Are you ever going to look to replace any of your massive, big, just meatball Lego damage dealers with the likes of a Dirandil? Probably not, but again, this might be a champion for getting you started into Spider. Let's actually give this a proper test now. I'm going to go ahead and remove the Zagala. Shakira, Zagala. And we're going to go ahead and throw... What am I doing? We're going to go ahead and throw in the Lydia instead here, just for the sake of getting up the decreased defense and weaken before the Dirandil then attacks on in. So we just... a little bit less damage in the team, but the Zagala doesn't really need to be here. She could easily be replaced by the Lydia, and so let's see him smack now. Now it should be absolutely bloody glorious on this first A1. It's basically got to kill all the spiderlings though, so we are asking quite a bit of the Dirandil here. He's going to smack on in, just kill basically everything, doesn't quite get himself the extra 10. As you can see, but he's going to come in now because he got so much 10 meter fill from all of those crits. And so, you know what, man? You know what? Not bad. It's actually not bad at all. I can actually see, you know, I can actually see it like a champion like Dirandil being used for this purpose. I think the next issue that then arises is, okay, so you're going to build your Dirandil and like your crazy best Nuker gear on your account to push into hard mode Spider. Maybe, maybe not. How many other areas of the game are you using him in? Can you afford to put all of the best gear in your account, all your best Nuker gear in your account, into the Dirandil? Very, very roster dependent, right? Very, very roster dependent. And whether or not you can afford to put the gear onto Dirandil over the likes of a Tholin, who, by the way, the Tholin did like no damage, man. He just didn't really... I mean, the attacks just didn't line up correctly for him to actually get much damage done. And the Athorian just absolutely carries in Hard Spider. You know, man, let's actually just pull the War Master out of the team completely and put a Hatatsu in there instead. Increase defense, decrease attack against the boss coming in from Hatatsu. And so we can't rely on just the crazy damage coming in from the War Master. Now let's see how the Dirandil does compared to the likes of the Tholin. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a bloody War Master Athorian, you might be looking more towards the likes of a big old smack coming in from a Dirandil, and then getting himself that happy little extra 10 to get you through Hard Spider as one of your key damage dealers, you know? So, yeah. Let's see how he does now, shall we? As the Tholin's going to smack on in. There's basically no instructions on Tholin or the Dirandil. Dirandil besides to prioritize using his AoE skill. And he's just going to randomly smack him with counterattacks because of masteries. He is back around to smacking again. It's just his A1. Not bad damage. Again, like, not bad. It's just not quite incredible. You know what I'm saying? Comes in again with the A3. This time he's not hitting that many spiders. And it's got to be said, without the decreased defense and the weaken debuff, he's going to struggle to kill him in stage 10 Hard Spider. But, you know, that's not exactly that surprising. And the Tholin finishes things off. How did they do in comparison to one another? I tell you what, bro, I tell you what, man. He actually kind of kept up with Tholin Falbeard, man. That is not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now, of course, again, I've got a bloody War Master on the account, and so there's no way Dirandil gets into this team realistically, but still, you know what I'm saying? I would say all in all, hard mode Spider's Den, more impressive to me at least than Fire Knight's Castle for Dirandil. Of course, Dirandil is also going to be pretty damn useful into things just like faction wars and stuff like that. It's just, if you just need a Dark Elves damage dealer to help you out into waves of enemies and stuff, that's all going to be grand. It's going to be okay. You know, we're going to go ahead and switch him into Damage Dill build just now, which is going to bump up his crit damage even further, 336%. Massively sacrificing speed, but he's getting like 1,000 attack as well. And so we're just going all in, man. We're going deep, man, on the damage with this type of Dirandil build. Just full lethal gear, a couple pieces of Slayer accessories, even that, just for a little bit of extra crit damage there. Sadly, he doesn't have the 4-star soul, so he's going to lack a little bit of crit damage. And behold, the Mongo team that just brings everything. Decreased defense, decreased attack, increased attack buffs, increased crit damage buffs from Archmage Helmet. Yeah, let's see what he can do. So when it comes to the arena in Dirandil, you're mostly looking at his ability to just one-shot something right away at the start. Against a team like this, you could actually go ahead and just attack in with the attack all enemies on the A2, which would look something a bit like this. And this is just going to be better, of course, against like 0 stone skin enemies earlier in the game and stuff. Classic arena on your account. And so we smack on in for a not bad amount of damage. I'll be real, I barely saw how much damage we did there. To be honest, I felt like the victory screen popped up way too quickly, man. And so that's the kind of thing that you can do, of course, against teams that are very, very unprotected. Against a team like this, just imagine that there's a couple of enemies on this team that are in Stone Skin or whatever. Maybe you're in like Gold Rank Arena, Gold 5, whatever it is, you know. What the hell, man? They're all dead already! Well, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it's all good. We can test out our A3 on Dirandil against this Lemonici right here, which ignores 50% of the target's defense, which is nuts, and of course places Perfect Veil on Dirandil as well for a couple turns if this attack is a crit, which it bloody well should be. And so you're just looking to just remove an enemy from the game right away on round 1 with this, as it smacks in for 400,000. Alright, man. I see you, Dirandil. It's not bad at all. Wonder if we are fast enough to beat these guys. This is a much tougher team for us to take on, especially if we're going to struggle to beat them for speed. It looks like we're just about ahead, man. We got the Fabian, we got the Odin, we got the Arbiter. Dude, this is a very, very rough team, you know what I'm saying? In fact, the Arbiter is going to get a 10 meter boost, and so things are going to go bad real bloody quick here, man. Let's see if we can salvage this. If I can just stop the Odin getting a turn here. Oh, then I can't buff for increased crit damage, though. Ooh, that sucks a little bit. So Dirandil's just gonna have to smack something here. Tell you what. I think we just kill the Odin, man. No, because then he's gonna get revived. Let's just one-shot the Arbiter. Goddamn billion damage there, not bad. Oh my god. Cut. We'll cut that, man. No problem, never happened. That's what I get, man, for running a level 50 Archmage Helmet and really low speeds on these guys. Just trying to pump as much damage as possible, you know? Because that's what this is all about at the end of the day. Oh, please don't get true feared. Lovely jubbly. Okay, good stuff. We're going to increase crit rate, increase crit damage, all of that good stuff. Oh my god, don't do it. Lovely, we get to attack on in. Let's go ahead and just throw in with the attack all enemies once again. Let's go ahead and see if we can just one-shot the crap out of the big man, dude. The big old UDK, you know what I'm saying, man? Just getting this guy out of the game, for example, could be a big difference maker in basically any arena setting. So, SWAT, 340k damage against I believe it was even an aura lead UDK. I mean, it's just not bad, man. And we get the Veil as well to sort of protect us from any counter smacks coming in too. And just finish things up with a happy little AO1, which just, of course, just going to weak hit like crazy because that's what happens. Still, not bad damage at all. Again, the only thing here with Dirandil is that he doesn't feel like a mega ultra specialist that you can actually build and expect to use for a long time into the likes of Classic Arena and especially not Live Arena. Given my recent experiences in Live Arena, oh my god, things get competitive there very quickly as soon as you're in gold bracket in Live Arena. And I just feel like your big nukers in Live Arena, they need a little bit of extra spice, they need a bit of extra something, they need like some kind of block revive or crazy counterattack mechanic that just auto triggers on like the passive of one of their skills, or like a bloody He-Man who can just smack through Stone Skin and bring speed aura. in arena battles, like a speed aura in arena battles could be very, very good. Dirandil, he's just a little bit too vanilla. He's a bit too vanilla, man. And I will say that for me, this is overall where I feel like Dirandil kind of falls down a little bit, man. He's not really like a Whisper or an Ugo or something that you can expect to build on your account, like an epic champion, quality champion, that you're going to get like infinite value out of in your account. But that, like, he's always going to be outshone eventually is what I'm trying to say. But that said, that's like most epic champions in the game. Like what, are we talking like Ugo, Geomancer? These might, like, you might be able to consider champions like this to be forever champions on your account. Like, you're basically always going to get some value out of an Ugo, unless you get to the point in your account where you're so advanced that you just don't need Ugo anymore in any of your Hydra teams. Like, that's a pretty bloody advanced account at that point. Solo epic champions that can solo dungeon tournaments for you and stuff. Okay, fair enough. You can make a case for those for being like forever epics. Most of them, Morag, do I really use her on my account anymore? Faction Wars, I guess. Same as like Kanoichi, kinda same as Duck the Pierced, same as Husk, even Erected Drath, you know? Like most epic champions in this game eventually are gonna get phased on out. It's just a question of how long are you gonna get to use them. For me, Dirandil, all in all, man, final review time, I'd tell you what, it actually impressed me quite a bit in this video. I know his gi was a little bit unhinged, obviously. But at the same time, whenever I hear people talk about Dirandil, they always talk about, ooh, man, like in arena, bro, Dirandil in arena, man, I'm telling you, you gotta build him as an arena champion. I'm actually not that sold on that, and maybe that's why I came into this video with just a bit lower expectations, man. After trying him out in the likes of, for example, Hard Spider's Den, I can actually see a lot of people building Dirandil to use him in, you know, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, like the early stages of hard mode Spider when you're just getting started in there for the very first time. He can actually do pretty well into that because of his it's just basically an extra 10 mechanic on his AoE skill into Hard Spider's Den, so that's pretty good. And even into Hard Fire Knight, you know what, 4.4, I think that's actually a little bit underrated, and I'm guilty of that as well. I underrate him a little bit in there too. Sure, he's not as good of a 10-meter controller into hard mode Fire Knight as the likes of your Creodans and your Neldors and all of that, and doesn't quite control the waves very well. But if you put him alongside a Neldor and a Creodan, and bring like a couple of good ally attack champions to the table as well, suddenly he can speed up your clears by a pretty significant margin. Which is pretty cool, because if there's one thing that Creodan doesn't do well, it's actually do damage. Like, he's great at controlling the waves, he's great at controlling the boss's 10 meter, he just doesn't hit very hard though. And Dirandil can actually bring that to the table. As a progression epic, very, very saucy, and you know what? I'm gonna put him in the busted category, man. Dirandil, buster bad, certified, busted, mostly as a progression epic, as most epics are inside of Raid, man. Wouldn't actually recommend him that strongly, though, for Arena, to be honest. At least not if you're outside of, you know, the early game. What do you guys think of good old Dirandil, man? Does he butter your toast? Does he jimmy your jams? Does he pet your, I don't know, dog? Let me know what you guys think down below, man. Thanks for watching this episode of Busted It All Bad, man. This was Dirandil, and you know what, man? I regret building this guy just a little bit less now, man. What a happy little dark elf he is, even though he looks a little bit mean on the outside. He's actually quite squishy on the inside, man. Hey, if you're looking to start off a new Raid account, make sure to get that done right now by clicking on the beginner promo link that's down below this video at the top of the description box to grab all the free stuff that you see on screen right now on your brand new Raid account. And I'm going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.